baked for Queen Elizabeth, then Princess, in 1947. So we are going to be making a salted caramel sauce and pancakes. And now we can get flipping.
My name's Taryn and I'm a professional baker from South Africa. I've made some crazy, weird and wonderful cakes in my time. And now I hope to pass those skills on to you as I bake, make and create with the Supermoms Club.
These incredible books were recently gifted to me. The recipes on their tattered and swelled pages really tell a story. They have been used so many times over, but the story they tell is the story of my kin. So what many of you may not know is that I am a third generation baker. Both my granny and my great-granny baked for Queen Elizabeth, then Princess, in 1947 when she visited South Africa. It is such a privilege to have these books, and inside them are some of those recipes that were baked for the Queen. So we are definitely going to be getting into them in some later vlog episodes. I just need a bit of time to really do that story justice and honour them. For me, it is such a privilege to be doing this and sharing my baking with you, continuing this tradition that my family have. And so I just really wanted to say a very quick thank you to you for being on my channel and watching these vlog episodes. So today, unfortunately, we are not going to be baking anything from these pages, but what we are going to be doing is making something really yummy and so fun for the kids. So we are going to be making a salted caramel sauce and pancakes, perfect for a Saturday morning breakfast. So we are going to start with the salted caramel sauce, and the ingredients are 2 cups of sugar, a half a cup of water, 1 cup of cream, 90 grams of butter, 1 to 1.5 teaspoons of salt, and a half a teaspoon of vanilla essence. I love salted caramel sauce. I think after last week's recipe, it did really spur me onto making this. It is one of those things that when it hits your palate, it speaks festive season. And yes, we are drawing ever closer, and I think I'm really excited. What is really great about this recipe is that it's so easy to make, and you can make a double batch and store your extra salted caramel sauce in the fridge for 2 weeks, so it does hold. So what we are going to do is start by adding your sugar into a pot, and then add your water and place it on a medium to low heat on a stove top and stir it until all your sugar has dissolved. If you find that your sugar is taking a little long to dissolve, you can bump your heat up to medium and then just continue stirring it. Once it's dissolved, turn your heat up to medium-high and leave it to simmer without stirring until it begins to turn yellow, about 5 to 7 minutes. So this is looking lovely and golden. And now we are going to work pretty quickly, and we are going to add in our cream and the butter and whisk it in as quick as you can. If you find your sugar has hardened slightly, you can return it to the stove, stir it until it's heated, and then use an electric mixer to beat the sauce until it's smooth. Now we are going to be adding the salt. This is a bit of a tricky one because everyone's salt tolerance is different, but if you have used salted butter, you can go ahead and then add 1 teaspoon of salt, and for unsalted butter add 1.25 teaspoons, and then taste it and readjust according to your liking. Then you can add a half a teaspoon of vanilla essence and whisk it again until it's all combined. Now I'm going to let this cool for around 15 to 20 minutes and then whisk it again because sometimes it can get a little bit of a layer on the top, and then transfer it into a glass jar and set it aside so that we can get straight into making the pancakes. Now I'm sure you have made pancakes millions of times, and pancakes are quite stiff competition in Bloemfontein actually. We have something that is called the Boeremark that is held every Saturday morning, and there are some stalls there that really make incredible pancakes. So I've tried to replicate a recipe that is as close to those as I can get, and these are the ingredients: 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of sugar, a cup of milk, 1/3 of a cup of water, a tablespoon of butter, a pinch of salt, and a cup of flour. So what you are going to do is start by adding your eggs into your mixer, and then you can beat them until they're nice and fluffy, and add your sugar and continue to beat for about 30 seconds. Alright, so now we can go ahead and add our wet ingredients. So we're going to start with adding the milk, and then you can add the water and the butter, and then beat the mixture until it's combined. There may be some bits of batter that don't mix in. That's absolutely perfect, and it's how it should be. Alright, so lastly we are going to be sieving in our flour, and then you can beat it just until your ingredients have combined. Alright, our mixture is done, and now we can get flipping. So I am using a little mini pan. It has a 14 centimeter diameter, and this mixture makes around 25 of these little mini pancakes. I love them. I think they are great for racking and stacking, especially with what we are going to be doing today. So you can start by heating your pan on a medium to high heat, add a blob of butter, let it melt, and then wipe it away using some kitchen towel. Then pour about 40 ml of batter into the pan, swirl it around and leave it to start bubbling, and then give it a flip. Brown it on the other side and continue flipping until all your batter is done. 25 little pancakes ready to get yummed up. So now we are going to make 3 little pancake stacks, each of them with about 8 pancakes. And I thought we would start with the kids' ones because they are the most important members of a family breakfast. And so what I have here are these really yummy coconut marshmallows, some astros and sprinkles, obviously our salted caramel sauce, and then some whipped cream maybe to top them off. So what we are going to start by doing is just cutting the marshmallows into 6 little pieces, and then I have the same little pan that I used earlier on, and you can just place them into the pan and then onto medium to low heat on your stove, and just add a tiny little bit of water in the bottom and then let them just kind of heat up and start to melt. Perfect. So now what I'm going to do is start by just placing down a pancake and then do a little layer of the marshmallows, and then continue layering a pancake, salted caramel, a pancake and cream, repeating until your stack is done. Top it off with a blob of cream, some toasted coconut, astros and sprinkles. Look at that. Now onto pancake stack number 2. Strawberries, cream and salted caramel sauce. Start by layering the sauce, then some cream, a pancake, more cream and some fresh strawberries, and repeat until your stack is done. Top it off with some whipped cream and grated chocolate. Delicious. And now onto our last stack. It's packed with toasted peanuts, peanut butter, cream and salted caramel. Layer the sauce, a pancake, peanut butter, toasted peanuts and cream, repeating until your stack is done. Top it off with some cream, salted caramel sauce and crushed peanuts. Don't they look scrumptious? And I have enough salted caramel sauce to put in the fridge and save for next weekend. Now all I need to do is share them with my peeps.
Do you like Mummy's baking, Jack?
In next week's episode, has my baking gone to the dogs? Because we're making doggy biscuits. If you liked this episode, hit the like button and remember to subscribe to see more videos.